Zach Roloff talks about having to film on a rigid schedule for Little People, Big World during his childhood, very stressful. Zach Roloff starred on Little People, Big World alongside most of his family for 25 seasons. But the father of 3 revealed this week that appearing on the TLC series wasn't something he always enjoyed. On a recent episode of his and wife Tori Roloff's Raising Heights podcast, Zach reflected on the early days of Little People, Big World, admitting that while it was fun at times, it was also very stressful. It was odd because there was always this expectation that I should be doing something right now, he said, as reported by Monster's critics. When people say reality television, I always think there's a little caveat there because at the end of the day, these people are paying for a crew to be here. Regarding the early days of Little People, Big World, Zach said his mom, Amy Roloff, did a pretty good job of keeping Zach and his siblings grounded, noting that the Roloff kids continued attending the same school and kept the same close friends as they had before the show began filming. He also admitted that it was fun at times, getting to travel to different cities to promote the series. But it was also very stressful, he added. And some of that is the family dynamic. Some of it is how I feel the family handled reality television. My mom and dad did a lot of good things, but then there are times where I'm like, we could have done that better, especially in the last, 10 years probably. Zach admitted that he could not stand filming the show in public, which he compared to being on a movie set in the middle of a public setting, as it would lead to everyone staring at you. He also said the dynamic changed as he got older, as filming the series became more of a business than it was in the early seasons. They did not just sit around all day filming, it was, hey, here are film days, 2 days a week, he said, calling the format rigid. I always say it's real, like what we're doing was reality, in a sense, but it was like a scheduled reality, he added. As the Ashley previously told you, Zach and Tori announced in February that they were stepping away from the TLC series, citing their 3 children as a huge reason, along with the current situation involving Zach's dad, Matt Roloff, and Roloff Farm. As fans of the show know, Zach and Matt began feuding in May 2022 after Matt announced on social media that he was selling a portion of Roloff Farm, despite previously claiming that he wanted to farm to stay in the Roloff family. Matt's announcement seemingly blamed his and ex-wife Amy's twin sons, Zach and Jeremy Roloff, for having to sell the farm, which proceeded to kick off a public feud between Zach and Matt that played out on both social media and the family's TLC show. In May, Zach revealed on an episode of his podcast that the situation with his dad had yet to improve since filming the season 25 finale of Little People, Big World nearly a year ago. He also hinted that his father's narcissism and inability to admit that he did anything wrong may be a big reason why the father-son relationship had yet to be repaired. As of now, TLC has not announced whether or not there will be another season of Little People, Big World. Related story. Zach Roloff says, relationship with dad, Matt Roloff remains strained due to narcissism following Little People, Big World Season 25. Finale. Nothing has been fixed. Little People, Big World fans defend Zach and Tori Roloff against critics of their family vacation photos. Zach and Tori Roloff are no strangers to online critics. After appearing on TLC's Little People, Big World as a couple since Season 10, and Zach since Season 1, they've practically become experts at navigating trolls. However, fans of the reality stars recently stepped in to defend them against critics of their family vacation photos. On Thursday, June 27th, Tori took to Instagram to share photos from a trip she and Zach took with their 3 children, Jackson, 7, Lila, 4, and Josiah, DC, you're a vibe. She captioned a carousel of pictures from Washington, D.C. I promise I'm here too, just behind the @Cananusa, Zach's mom, Amy Roloff, wrote, "Oh, I wish I would have made the trip now. Another time, I hope." Bringing Up Bates star Carlin Bates declared, "So sweet." In the comments, a handful of Instagram users also commented on Jackson and Lila's bowed legs, a common symptom of achondroplasia dwarfism, which they, Josiah and Zach, were all born with. Poor kid. Is there any treatment for his condition? One person wrote. To that, a fan snarked, "So glad you caught this. I am sure his parents are so grateful that you pointed it out. I am sure his doctors are truly thankful for the Instagram docs." Another critic pointed out, "Their poor little legs. It looks painful." Several fans defended Zach and Tori, with one writing, "Are you serious? They are on top of the development with their kids. Jackson has had surgery. I'm sure if they were in pain, they wouldn't be walking and the parents would know." Another Instagram user replied, "As someone with a disability, just because something looks painful doesn't mean it is. Zach and Tori are great parents. They will take off their legs if it becomes an issue." Meanwhile, someone else echoed in the comments, "They are on top of everything when it comes to their beautiful children, so please don't assume that just because they have small legs and slightly bent. They are amazing parents. I have followed them since before they got married." Unsolicited comments about their kids' appearances must be difficult for Zach and Tori, despite their many years in the spotlight. But at least fans are willing to step in when critics cross a line. Here's where the family from Little People, Big World are today. In 2006, TLC launched a reality show that was unlike any other on television. That show was Little People, Big World, and it has become one of the most immensely popular reality television series on TV today. Little People, Big World chronicles the lives of the 6-member Roloff family. When the show began, the Roloffs lived on a farm near Portland, Oregon. The episodes mostly focused on the parents, Matt and Amy, and one of their kids, Zach, who has dwarfism in the early days. As the show went on for nearly 2 decades more, the kids got married, Matt and Amy got divorced, and dynamics and storylines changed. Fans continued to tune in, even with most of the kids not returning to the series. But with the cast upheaval, rumors are that season 25 will be the last for Little People, Big World. If that is the case, the show and the Roloff family had an incredible run. Here is where the cast members are today. Updated June 2024. At the end of 2023, the Roloff family finished filming season 25 of Little People, Big World. When that happened, their contract had also run out. That meant that the family no longer had to abide by an NDA, and Matt Roloff took the opportunity to say that if season 25 was the final season, it would be fine by him. The rest of the family was done with filming. Zach Roloff and his family were not returning to the show, and because of that, it appears that Little People, Big World may have run its course. Having spent the last nearly 2 decades sharing their lives with countless people across the world, Zach very much incorporated his fans in the major milestones of his life. Be it meeting his now wife Tori Roloff, getting married, or welcoming their 3 kids into the world, it is Zach who makes the majority of his income from the show. He is the only Roloff kid who is still associated with the show since none of his siblings chose to participate. But that also came to an end after season 25, when Zach announced he and Tori would not be returning to the show. Zach spends a good deal of time on the Little People, Big World farm, since his father Matt still lives on the farm. However, he does not merely go there to visit his family, but also helps them out with odd jobs around the land. During pumpkin season, he gives private tours of the farm, allowing fans to get a glimpse of a behind-the-scenes look of the Roloff farm. He also shares engaging tales about well-known landmarks around the land. Zach also co-hosts the podcast Raising Heights with his wife, Tori, which has amassed quite a following. Amy Roloff and Chris Merrick, who are part of the Little People Big World series until it is announced it is canceled, are still going strong since their 2021 wedding. Although the reality stars had to postpone their wedding, they seem to be on cloud nine, which is evident by the way Roloff frequently posts about her husband on social media.